All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of the Horsemen Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, Neil D'Souza. Most people see a market like this that we're in here in Ontario and they freeze. Prices are flat, sales are down, headlines scream, just wait it out. But wealthy investors, they're moving, not because the market looks safe, but because it looks inefficient. And that's where the opportunities are in those inefficiencies. Let's talk about Ontario for 2025 and what the wealthy understand about it that many people don't. All right, first up, lesson number one. We'll call this the residential trap. When I started out, I thought that with real estate, you could never lose. And in fact, back in those days, you could buy just about anything. You could buy a house, clean it up, fix it up, and rent it out and watch it go up. And you were going to make money. You were going to do just fine. But nowadays, that's the poor mindset. In 2025, the Ontario residential market is full of traps. There's more supply than demand. Interest rates are up right now compared to how low they were just a few years back. And as a result, we're just not seeing much of a spark in the economy. And if you were to drop rates significantly and see that frenzy again, it could cause a number of other issues. So take, say, Toronto and Hamilton, let's just take GTA. What you're seeing in the GTA is nothing but a bloated real estate market. There are so many properties, specifically in the condo market. There are so many condos available for sale and condos that are coming onto the market. It's nothing but headwinds. And yes, there will be money to be made in the future. But right now, people are losing their shirt in that area together. Even though we know that all along, we've known we do not have enough housing for our residents. And then, of course, we need to add in all of the non-residents that are here and were let in. Okay, I know I talked about it being bloated. Let's just look at some numbers here real quickly. Back in 2022, when you talk about the condo market, under 5 months of supply. So the total amount of supply of condos available was less than 5 months worth. Now, that was 2022 going into 2023. Now, let's look at where we are now. And you move forward on the chart here, and you'll see that we are almost at 60 months of supply of condos. 60 months, guys. That's how many condos are available for people to buy up. And so there's a real opportunity if you're a buyer to scoop up great deals. Unfortunately, for many people, what they find themselves in right now, the place that they find themselves in is lonely and quiet because they have no cash. That old saying, cash is king. Well, people that have kept some money on the sidelines are finding out that they're kings and queens right now because they're buying up deals and getting them at dirt cheap values. I'm not talking about buying retail stuff right now. Buying the properties where people are willing to make the deals and give you huge discounts just to get out of the bloodletting. People are bleeding right now. And with this new government, they really talked about bringing down interest rates, but they've not done very much of that. They've instead held it very steady. I know it's the Bank of Canada, but the Canadian government has not really talked to them and asked them to bring it down further. And if they have, they're not listening. So what we have right now is we have a stable market, but it comes at the cost of all of those people that are trying to offload because it has not brought properties into an affordable range yet. And so that's what we're seeing right now. People that are having to sell, losing money, and those who kept, as we call it, dry powder, kept some cash on the sidelines, they're scooping up right now. The rich put together a great team. They focus on making sure they have the right team, the planners, the lawyers, the partners. They want to unlock the upside of each of those professionals. So build your team right now, even though you don't have the actual deal at the door. Is it Christmas time? What is with all the lights? Deck the halls with boughs of hot. Look at all of the spots on the wall. Guys, these are properties available to buy. And if you take a look at it, you're going to see, just do a quick search on MLS, and you're going to see that each one of these dots does not represent one property. In some of the cases, it's 4 properties, 5 properties, 10, 15. You get into some of these spots. Look at this: 131, 192, 216 listings just for that one dot. This is how many properties are available for sale. So now you'd ask the question, where have all the buyers gone? Yeah, long time. Where have all the buyers gone? If these are all people selling, normally you're going to run into the situation where you go, okay, I'm going to sell and then I'm going to buy over here. But our market was so used to people going and buying, then selling their property afterwards, because you knew it was going to happen. But now the state of the market has brought it back all the way. Back in the 80s, my dad was a realtor for a little bit, and nobody bought the next house until they sold the one that they were at, unless they did this type of a deal: contingent on the sale of their primary residence. They would buy your house contingent on the sale of their current home. And that was in every single contract. It was commonplace. Well, we have gone back to that place, except nobody has another place lined up and nobody is buying the place that they're in. And so as a result, we're seeing deals fall apart left, right, and center, or just people not wanting to even look, not wanting to even venture into the buying market until they know that they have someone that's going to buy their property. And as a result, it just creates a bunch of people selling, sitting around, and it's putting what we would call downward pressure on prices. And as a result, in many of across the country, but definitely in GTA, you're seeing that effect across all properties, not in all locations. Remember, not in all locations, but in many spots, you're seeing prices maybe not plummeting, but at the very least, they're holding at value. They're holding at a price point, and people are looking for them to be growing, and that's just not happening. So that's one of the things that we're seeing right now in our market. So where are the opportunities for investors now? Rich people tend to buy lifestyle. If you know where Prince Edward County is, uh, there's this rich guy from Toronto who went and bought a cottage. He paid 1.2 million in cash. Not because it cash flow, but because to him it was cheap. It was, it made him feel something. It gave him an opportunity for lifestyle. Now, you may not have that kind of money to be able to drop on it, but I want you to understand that for rich people, they're going to park their money in places where it's protected over an extended period of time. So they're not worried about a short-term fluctuation like you're seeing right now. And if they were to buy right now, like this individual who bought last year, he knows that he's only going to be riding the market up. He knows, as he hears, as the federal government talks about spending more and more money, that it will increase the price of the property. So it's not just about buying bricks, you're understand that people are buying an experience, and it's not always the experience that you think it is. When a when someone is buying an apartment building, They're understanding that they have to create an experience for the tenant. A good landlord understands that I want to buy this and create a good experience for my tenant. And that good experience will make them wealthy because people are willing to pay for a good experience. Even the poor are willing. In fact, sometimes the poor are more willing to pay for it than the wealthy are because many times the poor aren't thinking about how to save their money, how to make their money work for them. And so oftentimes very many times their vacations are their best experiences in life rather than their everyday life. So when you're looking for opportunities in Ontario, I'll say this very simply, not financial advice, but Northern Ontario, you have much better cap rates when you're looking to at properties, whether it's to fix and flip, whether it's to buy and hold. You're seeing much better opportunities further north. You're seeing certain towns and cities like Sault Ste. Marie or Timmins or Sudbury. You're seeing these really stabilize. And so you're getting a lot of opportunity in some of these places. If you're looking at residential real estate, still tons of opportunity outside of GTA. But inside of GTA, if you are willing to go into the condo market, I want to be very careful with this assessment for you guys as you look at the opportunities. There are many, many people you would do them a favor. They would appreciate you if you bought their condo from them, even at a loss. They're willing to sell it. And if you look at the numbers and do it properly and do not buy on emotion, there are scads of deals available in that condo market. Remember, many of the investors, I'm speaking really slow, guys, catch this. There are many investors that were really speculators that have been or are being wiped out of the market right now. And you have the opportunity to capitalize on those deals right here, right now. Remember, its purpose is built through pain. And inside of that, you find your passion and you'll build a legacy for yourself and your family for a long time to come. And that's true whether we talk about finances, whether we talk about your mentally, emotionally, spiritually, in all of those things, you will build legacy from your pain to your purpose to your passion. See you guys another week. This is the Four Horsemen Real Estate Podcast. Take care.